Firstly tonight, let me say thank you to Natalie and Danielle for organising tonight. You'll see in the past we've had some amazing nights, and this is just another incredible night we're going to have tonight. I think this will be the best of the lot, so thank you to both Natalie and Danielle. I'd like to also, take this opportunity to just thank people, because there's so many people to thank. To put an event on like this tonight, you've got no idea how many people. There's hundreds of people are behind this, and I'd like to thank all the volunteers, the supporters, the staff, our board, our sponsors. I'm repeating what Jamie said, but a special thanks in particular to Linton, Mowat Hennessy, for your continued generosity. And thank you to everyone as well that's donated all these items tonight. There's a lot of items being auctioned tonight, and behind all those people have donated them. So thank you to everyone. Finally, a special thank you to our patrons, Jamie Jury and Luke Mangan. You've seen Jamie, you'll see Luke soon. They've been around from day one in this foundation, and sometimes you've got to say, why do these people put the time and effort in? They're busy, they've got active lives, they've got business interests. Why do they do this? Well, they just do it, and I don't think we need to understand why. I just think we need to say thank you. So thank you to Jamie and Luke. So, for those of you that have been here before, I apologise for those of you that haven't, but I'll just quickly talk about FSHD. Jamie mentioned it quickly, but FSHD is one of the most common forms of muscular dystrophy. It's certainly probably the most common in adults. It's also very active in children. Unfortunately, in children, we see that when it affects children, it seems to move at a much more rapid rate, and its effects can be quite severe, and that's very scary. And unfortunately, we're finding more and more children have got this disease. Unfortunately, this disease in Australia, but also globally, has been generally poorly diagnosed and misdiagnosed. We still see people that we find that have got this disease that will tell you that they were previously diagnosed as having something else. It's generally not understood by a lot of doctors, and that's a problem in this country. In fact, it depends on where you live in the world, really what your chance of being correctly diagnosed are, and that's quite sad. But I like to keep it very simple. The way I talk about this disease, I say very simply that this is a rapid ageing disease. This is a disease where you slowly lose the use of your muscles. And to put that very simply in perspective, one day you realise you can't run. You're pretty upset about that, but you then accept it. Then another point in the future, you suddenly realise you can't stand. And you get pretty upset about that, but you accept it. Then one day you realise you can't comb your hair, and you accept it. And then one day you realise you can't turn in bed. You accept that too. And then one day you can't feed yourself, and you accept that as well. And then one day you realise that you totally relied on others to do everything that you need to do in life. Well, the reason this foundation was established was that so all the sufferers that suffer from this disease do not have to accept this. They can have a choice. And that's what I'm about, that's what this foundation's about, to try and find some cures. So again, just repeating what Jamie said in a little bit more detail, since we started in 2007, we've funded 22 medical research projects around the world. We've funded just over $3.7 million. By the end of next week, and depending on tonight, we hope to fund another 3 or 4 medical research projects that will take our total committed to funding medical research closer to $5 million, which I'm pretty proud of. Now, 7 years ago when we started, there was no research in Australia. Today, FSHD Research Foundation is funding 11 Australian scientists, either directly or in collaboration with international scientists. Globally, there are some 39 scientists that we're funding to find a cure for this disease. We're still the only organisation in Australia funding FSHD research. There is no government funding. There has never been any government funding. And quite frankly, I don't think there ever will be any government funding. In fact, globally, this foundation is in the top 3 funders of research into this disease. The only 2 organisations that are above us receive funding from the US government. Tonight you'll hear from Professor John Rasco AO. John, again, has been with our foundation from day one, and John will talk a little bit about the disease and update you in more detail of some of the huge successes we're having with medical research. Now, there are many great people in this room tonight, and it really is wonderful for me to come here and meet so many people that I know. There's so many friends in this room that have contributed to making this foundation a wonderful success. Success is the key word. Success in medical research, success in creating awareness of FSHD, success in giving sufferers hope. For you see, hope is critical for all people that suffer from this disease, when you're continually told there is no cure. Now, more recently, the foundation has been a success in providing transparency, and I'd like to talk a little bit about that tonight. You'll see on the screens there a new app that we've developed, and this is actually a world first, and we're very proud of this. If you've got a phone, and you go to that phone, you just download a free app. It's called FSHD Finding a Cure. The beauty of this app is that anyone can access it anywhere in the world, and if you haven't downloaded it, please do it. The beauty of this app is very quickly you can roll through this app and it will tell you about the foundation. It will tell you all of our achievements. It lists them very clearly in about 12 points. It lists all our financials. It shows you where your dollars go. It will actually show you, and I'm very proud of this, that over 100%, now listen to this, quite amazing, over 100% of all donations that are received that are tax deductible, where you get a tax deductible receipt, go into medical research. Over 100%. So there are income that we as a foundation receive where people don't donate money, and we get that from golf days and selling raffle tickets, etc. We use that money to pay our costs, and what's left over in that we put into education, and we put the surplus back into medical research. But when you make a donation tonight, what happens? If you haven't made a donation before, you'll be given a donation number. It'll be sent to you after with your tax deductible receipt. What you then do is you go to this app, you put your number in, and the app will open up, and it will show you every day you've donated money to this foundation, the amount you've funded, and you'll be able, next to each of those entries, to press a number, and it will show you into which medical research project your money has gone. You'll be then able to read about that project. You'll then be able to read the updates on that project as the science comes through every 6 months. And when those scientists do visit Australia, we do invite our scientists here on education tours, you'll be invited to meet them. So what you actually have is an experience here. When you donate $1, you can follow that dollar going through medical research, you can see where it's gone, and you can see the results that come out of it. And I'm very proud about that. It's a totally transparent way of showing all people that want to donate money here tonight where their money is going to go. And I'm very proud of that. And I'd like to thank on that, particularly Black Citrus, who put this together, donated this for nothing. And, an amazing world first. And it's something I'm very proud of, that, our foundation is now very transparent. Now, before I finish, I'd like to talk very quickly about some very interesting things. I'd like to talk about our patrons and our ambassadors. Now, firstly, can I ask our patrons to come up here? We've got 3 beautiful patrons. We've got Monica Ellis. Come on up, Monica. Jamie Jury and Luke Mangan. Are you guys there? Come on over. I hope you got
I've been cooking, Bill.
I hope you got someone else helping you cook out there.
There's about 40 other blokes. Yeah,
okay. All right. Thanks, Monica. Look, where do I start? Look, Monica, beautiful inspiration to me. This beautiful lady obviously suffers from FSHD. Monica spends her time doing beautiful artwork, doing beautiful Christmas cards. She paints. She sells those cards to make money for this foundation for medical research. I mean, Monica's a beautiful person and a real inspiration. Every time I think of FSHD, I think of Monica. Jamie, Luke. I don't need to talk too much about you. Everyone knows you guys. But thank you very much. But it was because of our patrons and the success of our patrons. We had lots of other people coming to us and saying, we'd like to help the foundation. And so we decided to launch an ambassador program. And what I'd really like to talk about tonight is our new ambassadors. And for those of you that have heard me talk, when I talk about philanthropy, I always say that philanthropy is not only about giving money. You can give with your heart, your brain, your hands and your time. And this is what our patrons and our new ambassadors are doing and want to do to help us. And I think that's very special. So can I ask all our new ambassadors to come up? I'd just like to briefly introduce them if I can. These are very special people. Each of these people has their own story for wanting to help this foundation. And I'd like to encourage all of you here tonight to talk to them and ask them why they want to help this foundation. Can I introduce Julie Wood? Come on, Julie. Thanks, Julie. I appreciate it very much, darling.
Thank you.
Julie Wood. Kerry Johnson, the beautiful Kerry. Thanks, darling. That's good, darling. Norma Needham. Thank you, Norma. Thank you, darling. And Dr. Robin Fitzsimmons. Robin's a very special patron. We've created a new position for Robin. She becomes our FSHD Scientific Ambassador, which is a very important role because Robin's been instrumental in travelling the world in her general travel, visiting all the leading scientists in the world, encouraging them to undertake research into FSHD. And for that, we're very thankful, Robin.
Oh,
thank you very much. Yeah. Tim Garrett, last and finally. Thank you, Tim. You'll hear a little bit more about Tim later. Tim's a very interesting person. Tim's came to me and said, I'd like to be an ambassador to the foundation. And I said, why? And he said, well, I'm going to do a solo trip to the South Pole. And I'm going to do a solo trip there and back. And it's only been done a few times. And I want to raise money for the foundation. And you're going to hear Tim talk a little bit about that tonight and why he wants to do it. So thank you, Tim. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Thanks. So on that note, I might hand this back to you guys and I'll go and sit down.